Good morning, guys, and welcome back. We just got back from the cabin, and when we're up there, generally do a little bit of fishing, and I brought some northern back. If you watch some of the other videos, there's a slot in the part of Minnesota we fish in that you have to put those fish back. You can keep 10 northern, 2 over 26 inches, and 8 under 22 inches. Everything between 22 and 26 has to go back. Now, that's not what this video is about, but the result of that is we end up with a handful of northern that are kind of a size that are tough to flay and get the Y bones out of. You know, even the 21 inchers, you could do it, but it's kind of a pain. So I save them and pickle them. And then eat pickled northern that way. So this recipe is going to be a keto friendly recipe. We're going to use an artificial sweetener instead of real sugar. I've done a taste test with it. My wife prefers it with the artificial sugar. I've taken it to work, and some friends have tested it, and kind of a blind taste test, and they preferred the artificial sweetener over the real sugar. So now when I make it, I just make it with the artificial sweetener, which fits into the keto diet. I will post, or I will list the recipe, the ingredients at the end. It'll be up for like 5 seconds. So if you want to see it, just freeze it or pause it, and let's get started. So we're going to need 2 cups of water, 2 cups of distilled white vinegar, 1 large onion. We will need 2 tablespoons of pickling salt. Now the way I'm going to do this, you could do this in a big bowl. You can let it sit on the counter and stir it up. The way I like to do it is put it in some jars and put it in the refrigerator. Once it's pickled, cooked with the vinegar, if you put it in a bowl, then you want to put it in the refrigerator. I prefer just to do it all in the refrigerator. So I've got a couple of jars. I've got 2 pounds, 9 ounces of filleted northern. The Y bones are all still in there. For this size of recipe, you're going to use half of a jar of pickling spice. This is the mixed pickling spice from Ball. You could use the whole jar. Kind of up to you. I'll use half of it for this. And what I'll do is when I cut the onion up, I'll put half the onion in here, the other half in here, and I'll put a tablespoon of salt and a tablespoon of salt. So I'll just mix those ingredients that way. And instead of trying to guesstimate when I've got half of the Ball spices, I just pour it in there. It's about 1/4 cup, and then I can see a little easier when it's about half gone. Yeah, that's pretty close. And if you were doing this in a big container, you could just pour it all in with no big deal. The nice thing about excuse me, this fake sugar sweetener is it dissolves quickly. Real sugar, you have to stir or cook it in the water first to get it to dissolve. It takes a little bit longer. Cut it in half. will add our salt. And I've made this without the pickling salt before. I just use regular salt. And it'll turn out fine. Do 3/4 of a cup of the sweetener. Just going to add that to the water. You can see how quickly that dissolves in there. It's kind of nice. There we go. And that's the brand we use. So I mean, I could fillet that and get decent little chunks out of there, but we had enough crappie and other stuff that crappie that we caught actually wasn't other stuff, crappie that we didn't need to eat this to have a good fish fry, and we still brought fish home. Another meal of crappie. So I'm just going to cut it in chunks like that. I cut it down the middle, kind of bite-sized chunks. Nice thing about this is it gets those smaller northern, which is what the DNR really wants, out of the lake. I mean, if you catch a 16-inch northern, unless you want to pick around the bones and you eat it, you know, there's no good way to cook that up and eat it. And here, there's 4 northern in here. 1 19-incher and 3 21-inchers, or slightly over 21. All around the 21-inch. If you're not familiar with pickling fish, these bones will cook right up in that vinegar. You won't even know they were in there. Okay, I'm gonna pack those in before I get too crazy. I don't want to cut it all off. I don't need it all. And you can pack it pretty darn tight. From the past times I've made it, I won't end up using all this liquid. If it works out the same. So if I were cleaning these fish to eat and I took the Y bones out, I would save the Y bone sections. And that's what I would pickle, and when I got enough of them, then I would pickle those. Again, because those Y bones don't show up in your pickle. So that way none of the fish goes to waste. 2 pounds, 9 ounces. And we'll use it all here in 2 mason jars. Alright, so now we're just going to pour in knife out. This one's obviously packed a little tighter. Now this is a short-term storage. We're not going to can these and water bath them, or this is just a refrigerator application. You can adjust these recipes. The vinegar and the water ratio is what's important. You could make them sweeter, you could make them less sweet. You could add jalapeno, you could add crushed pepper spice, crushed red pepper, whatever flavor you wanted to add to it. I've thought about adding the crushed pepper or some jalapeno slices. That would kind of zing it up a little bit, be kind of nice. I'm just making sure we got air out. Get as much of the vinegar in as we can. Once you get them all packed, I shake them up. I guess you don't have to. But I shake them up to get the spices kind of mingled in there a little bit. It's probably not necessary, but then I'll go through at least once a day for the next 2 or 3 days and do this. There you go, guys. That's pretty simple. Pretty good way to use those northern up, those small northern, or the Y bones that you're throwing away probably. Perfect use for them. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.